connecting to cloud server.
Yeah, I started recording, sir.
Okay. Right? So, what is the next question?
Okay, sir. Maybe it's not from this book topic, but since you mentioned in one of the messages that there are many ways to exit from this body, so that made me curious. Like, what are other ways? Like, is there a way to exit? And there are variations to, like, there are different ways to. So I want to know that. What is that?
How many of you understand project planning?
We do understand a little bit, sir.
Unless until you're going into more details.
No,
I know
no.
the base.
I'm not doing Microsoft projects or prints or
Mhm.
anything like that. I'm only doing project planning. Right? Do you introduce a what if scenario when you are doing a planning?
Yes.
You do that, correct?
Mhm.
When you are doing any kind of a project, even if it is a home related project, we do what if. Right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
We do a what if analysis.
Yes, sir.
And in this what if analysis, what do we look for? We look for the path where our progression is least impacted. You take what you call the path of the least resistance. Yes,
Yes.
we take the path of the least resistance in reaching the destination. But what do you do if you can't reach the destination? You will abort the project, right? Right? And there will be so many occasions that you will create which may force you to look for project abort. And one of the routines in the project is going to be abort. You may call it a subroutine. And that subroutine is going to have a trigger point. Okay, the concept of exit is that. Now, the purpose of life is to enjoy life, to learn, and progress. It is not evolve, but progress. Okay. Now, when these three conditions are going to be impacted, you will trigger project abort. Okay. When your deviation in life is to such an extent that the objective of the life that you have chosen is not in the direction, that becomes an exit. And how you are going to exit is going to be determined by the type of experience you want that to convey to you. Are you able to understand what I am saying? Even
sir.
that is an experience, Kirti. Even
Yes,
that
sir.
happens to be an experience. Correct. So, that is the cause of your multiple paths to exit. So, if it is not complete or it is not going to get completed, right, you will say, I will exit.
So, sir, have we planned this also like at the soul level?
You will be
This
surprised to
intermediate.
know after reading that soul contract decoded, we have programmed even our name. The selection of the name that we are given is programmed by us,
Okay.
not by the parents.
Actually, I heard the same thing somewhere else. Did we talk here, sir, or is it
Yeah, I did
some
talk
Sir,
here, and
yeah,
this
yeah.
is also
Sir did
there
mention.
in the full name that we adopt to ourselves.
Hmm.
No, but sir, say for example, we have to like we're talking about. I think you are talking about the exit kind of like the suicide kind of a thing that we want to
Correct,
exit or whatever.
correct.
Yo, but before like when we were doing our soul planning, did we make this part like a subroutine that we do in our project planning, or do we already know that we will not be able to complete this and we will
No,
exit
that
like
is
this?
your free will. See, even your free will has a role to play, correct? That's what we learned in the first chapter here.
Hmm.
You have the free will. You have defined the contours of what you are going to complete in a lifetime. You have not said how,
Okay.
right? That how is an outcome pertaining to or emanating from your belief system, your tradition, your strengths and weaknesses, your talents that you hone, right? Whether you have received the support of your parents or you have not, all these are the inputs. Okay? All these are your talents to orient your thought process to reach the destination. However, for whatever reason, right, there is an interruption, and that interruption is so interesting that rest of your focus is absorbed by that situation. Then, right, one thing, you may say, this is better than the earlier project, let me leave it. That's fine. A change in course. Like you are going, let's say, from Los Angeles to, let's say, San Francisco. Or you are going to San Jose, right? You got a number of stops in between. You go to one stop, you find that the Starbucks there is crowded. So you say, okay, there is a nearby, there is another one. We will go there. Let's ditch this. Right. So that is the change management you are doing to your progress in life or program in life.
Okay. But sir, do we at the soul level
Hmm.
think or plan, leaving aside the concept of this free will, do we say like because we say at the soul level planning, we say that we want to experience this thing in this lifetime. Does it hold true for the experience of like say suicide or an accident, or do we consciously plan for it? Like that's
Yes,
my
you do
question.
plan. You do plan for it. You plan for the type of experience and how it can happen. What is the takeaway lesson? What is the takeaway lesson? Right?
Till then, I was in impression that suicide is which like they based on a fear or some negative aspect that they are taking away their life. Now is new that is that correct?
There is nothing like correct or wrong, right?
Ah, okay. No, I mean to say like if this is planned, then that is where I'm
Yeah,
like
that's
little
No,
yeah.
see,
Me too.
little hard
Most
to
no,
definitely.
comprehend here.
50%,
Yes, yes,
always
yes,
remember,
yes.
50% of life is as per plan. Okay. What is the balance 50%?
Free will.
That is
On free will.
dictated by what you call
Choices.
your free will.
Right.
Right? Now, there comes the question of, is your body mind controlling you, or your enlightened mind controlling you?
Right.
Both are
So the
correct.
body,
The body, the
mind.
attachments, and whatever is relevant in the physical world, is that controlling you and your behavior, or is it the intellect that is controlling you? Okay. Suppose
I
you
think
say,
all right, sir. All of them.
it could be all of them, but which is the dominating one that is actually able to push through the other? See, we have an injury, right? What do we learn from Ramana Maharshi's Who Am I? He has written a small book, right? Who Am I?
I have not read that, sir, yet.
No, he says that not this body. He says the
Correct. So he is
soul.
actually suffering from cancer on his skin. He has a non-healing wound. So the doctor who says, this wound is very painful. I am trying to understand what is behind this. And Ramana Maharshi says, just like you, I am also observing the wound. Right? I am also observing its behavior. It is not bothering me, so it will exist. Right? Now, under the guise of fear, I could have said, I know it is so painful, it is unbearable and whatnot. Or that is when the body mind is controlling my response. But he says, just like you, I am also observing it. What can it do to me? Nothing. That means, okay, that is the reality. He is beyond the body being considered the most important thing. So it's the outlook that has got a role to play. It is the individual's belief, the individual's ability to comprehend, that is dictating our perception. So 50% is the destiny and the lessons that you have chosen. Okay. And the balance 50%, interestingly, is your free will. Is that free will controlled by your body mind or your wisdom? Or you are being open to dig deeper, understand what it is all about, and take a conclusion from there. You've got all the three sources, correct? So which one are you letting be, are letting yourself get dominated by? Right? That's the crux. That's the crux. That's the objective behind life. I'm also learning while I'm talking, right? I'm able to see the incidents that I could have done better, etc. today. But yesterday I did it, right? I thought it was right, I thought it was wrong. All of us go through that phase. It is not that somebody is unique or anything.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, this is maybe not completely related, but if somebody says like we go through this practically every time, right? Like they're in pain, somebody suicide or something like that, we are there with them, but how should we deal with those people when they are like complaining, or whatever we should have not done, or all that kind of stuff? We know that okay, that soul has come for this time, and their whatever their contract is done, or they have designed their life like that. As a spiritual master or seeker, we understand that. But when we are with non spiritual people, or we just silently watch what it's going on there like a drama and just not say anything. Sometimes it's difficult not to say anything. So how do we deal with those kind of situations?
There are two questions that you have asked.
Hmm.
One is, how do you deal with the group and their thinking?
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand, right? So,
Mhm.
how do I deal with a group which is not exposed to this kind of thought process? Correct? Am I right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
The second one is, how do I digest it myself? Is that part of the question also there?
Second,
Because
wanted to
unless
say,
we are convinced, we cannot convince anyone else.
yeah. I mean, these topics
Okay.
always comes, yeah. I mean,
Correct.
this is one
Right.
suicide, but there were like other cases in US. At least Indians went
Right.
through these kind of the. I mean, they'll look at me like, if I don't say anything, they'll
Hmm.
think that what is this girl not saying anything, or not doing anything, or not not showing that
See,
sympathy.
the first and the easiest way out is you can say, I'm still trying to understand.
Hmm.
Okay. But since you have been in the spiritual path for some time, it is evident that the wisdom that you have gained from listening to others, etc., is that one is optional, one is not optional. Pain is imperative, but is suffering that is associated with the pain mandatory for you to undergo?
No.
Right? So
Mhm.
you have that understanding, but others, what is the one that is holding pain and suffering together?
Ignorance.
One. Any other word? ATT, ACH, MENT.
Attachment.
Correct. Right?
Mm.
Now, practically speaking, how does the body respond to the word attachment? Right? That
Feelings
is
and
where thinking from a spiritual perspective, is the body controlling the situation or the mind controlling the situation?
Mm.
What is the score of attachment if the mind is controlling the body?
they how do we say, if mind is controlling the body, in the sense like completely mind is ruling them.
Correct. That means they will take it in their stride, correct?
Mhm.
But if the body is controlling, that means attachment is dominating.
Mm.
Right?
Mhm.
Depending upon the two is what they are going to experience.
Okay.
Okay. So you need to bring them to the plane of there is the body, there is the mind. Who is controlling the situation? Like if I give you an injection, there will be probably, depending upon the density of the medical content, right?
Mm. Mm.
It could be dense. That means the pain is going to last a little bit longer. You know it by experience, you know it by wisdom, right?
Yes, sir.
So you will not give any attachment, right? It's doing
But
its
sir, we
job.
cannot, but because sir, we have this kind of understanding because over the years that we have been like sitting with like, the wise people like you, reading some book, understanding that. But the group that I think Surekha ji is
Perfect.
mentioning about it,
No, I
we
got the
cannot,
question. Yeah, I
we
got the
cannot
question.
like just go
They
and
may not
explain that.
comprehend, but then go back
Yeah.
to the first day that you embarked on this journey. Where were you?
Hmm.
Right?
Yes.
It's an opportunity for you to tell them that such and such things exist. But unfortunately, we don't open ourselves to the reality. We have built a cocoon of beliefs, of faith, right? Of our school of thought and our desire. We are letting these four rule the roost.
But when we approach them, like initially, sir, I think we have to go from the background or with an understanding of compassion. First,
Exactly.
just listen to them, just
Yeah,
where they're coming from and what they are experiencing, because that is their reality right now,
correct.
right?
Yeah.
And then slowly and steadily, with compassion, with when the time passes, because time is also a big healer, I believe, in this process. Slowly and steadily, we can bring them to the understanding of where we stand and what it really is. And that may help. But initially, we'll have to go from a perspective of compassion to that with that group who completely does not understand because they will not even like listen to you. They may shun you, you know, they may outcast you, sort of like, initially, just very initially, because first of all, they're in the shock because they do not have that wisdom or they do not understand that nobody is gone. There is no concept of death, soul continuously born. Although from our scriptures and all, from the time we have been like brought on, we have this concept somewhere in our head, like, Atma is always there or soul is always existing. But I think in that moment of that harsh reality, and because of the suddenness or the at that point in time, we have to just show them compassion, and slowly
See,
and steadily we can.
see, this, each one of us will have our own way of handling that situation. The theme is going to be the shared wisdom that Kirti had asked.
Yes.
What is shared, what is common, what is acceptable. But the way it is done is not going to be the shared wisdom. The way, the approach to it,
Yes,
right?
I
Depending
agree.
upon the circumstance, we know when to release what amount and how to release.
Yes.
I
And to
agree with you.
whom? Yes.
Otherwise, it will not reach the destination or
Yes.
the intended purpose.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
we
also,
have to be, yeah.
I feel like also like, a lot of people are telling their own stories. I mean, sometimes they may go and sit in our subconscious mind, right? So it's very important to be in a witness and just observe the situation there, not to take it anything inside. Because like you
Don't
do come
talk
across
at the
all this.
beginning. Don't talk unless you are asked for something.
No, sir,
And when you
suddenly
are
somebody.
answering also,
Mm,
it is very important that you don't hurt anyone. So what do? If this situation was hitting me, I would do it in this manner. Okay, this is how I would handle it. This is what I would do. Because then there is no element of criticism, etc., which itself is a resistance to acceptance. Right? So
mhm.
there are multiple ways of handling the situation, is what
Looking.
correct.
Right.
Sir, can I
So
ask one? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead.
I think this is a same repetition, not repeated. I mean, it's connected to it. So I thought I'll just finish it off this. So, like, my colleague comes and keeps telling her problems and cries and all this stuff. I mean, being in this path, of course, her situation is really very, I mean, sad. But how should I tell her? Like, okay, do meditate. If I just tell her the spiritual path or do meditation, I don't think people will. They might.
No,
She
they
might get
won't. You
mad.
have to do it with them.
Yeah. So I
You have
was
to
thinking,
say, why
how
don't
do
you
you?
sit with me and do what I am doing for the next 15 minutes? And then you can always ask, how did you feel?
Okay.
Right? See, you are
Mhm.
doing the job of a salesman. Don't forget that. And all of us are natural salesmen because we have children whom we have managed, right? They are
Yeah.
the best teachers to bring about our salesmanship to the core or to the fore, whichever way. Yeah. Yes,
Thank
Neeluji,
you,
your
sir.
question.
1 second.
So, sir,
Diluji, I have something related to this, what
yes,
Surika ji asked.
absolutely. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So
No,
here,
please.
sir, I want to know this. Since like people are coming to us telling their problems in a higher perspective way, like that we are calling that, right? Are we calling that situation into our life so they can discuss with us? Are we being a magnet there? Or how do you put that? This is what I understand that
Wow, that's a very
call for
big
the
question.
situation.
No, it's a very profound thing.
No, I do
Suppose
see
I
that.
ask you to look at that situation and write the words like attracts like.
Ah,
Hmm.
Now, like is a force,
mm,
right? The attraction is the force. There is one component of what you want to clarify through the experience. So you have attracted the question. You have not attracted the answer. You have
mm,
attracted the question for you to analyze deeper.
Hmm.
Okay.
Good
right.
But the
concept.
other person also is party to that like attracts like. He has
Mm,
attracted the question part of
right.
it, right? I mean, he has attracted the answer part of it as far as his
Weird
thought
question.
process is concerned.
Mm,
And you have found that this session is giving you an opportunity like it does for me. So I join. Right? Now, I'm here because I want to deepen my understanding of what I have taken. Right? You are also here to deepen. But where is the question coming from? Not from me.
Hmm.
Right? So that is the equation that is holding that situation together.
yes, sir. These days, my brain is so like into this kind of thing. If anything is happening, I'm like, okay, I think I called for this. Where did I call? I'm just going back and connecting those things. Oh, that is
No,
what
no.
it is happening.
That is why Patriji said, don't analyze too much.
Yeah, we'll be going back.
Because that
So,
level of analysis could eventually lead to paralysis.
could we?
Yes.
Yeah.
But there is a
No, but you
synchronicity
should
there
know,
sometimes.
if you want to create the learning out of an analysis, you have to stop and do synthesis. Put back the whole thing together. Right? In between the two lies your learning and takeaway.
Mm.
What happened? One of us is missing. Niluji dropped off.
She lost, probably she will
No,
join. I
no, I
think.
think, yeah, she might have lost the
She's
connectivity.
back.
Yeah.
But
Yes,
but
ma'am,
sir,
your question.
One last thing I want to comment. It's not a question, but you know what Kirtiji asked. I can resonate to that so much because it's a synchronicity, same situation, same scenario, but different people coming and talking. So I feel like, is there something? And when now that's a question coming for me after she has expressed that question for you. So, I mean, why would they come and talk to us, right? Yeah, when there are so many people, and I feel like maybe they sense something or the energy or whatever it is. I don't know, but I felt like there is something. Maybe we should help them, or like spiritual way. And whenever I talk, it always comes into meditation. So I suggest and I give the books, and that is what I'm doing, sir. Whoever comes to me, yeah, that's it. Thank you. Neeluji, go ahead. I think you had a question.
Yeah. So, sir, this question pertains to, like, I think the very first uh, discussion we had on, and it just like came to my mind again today. So uh, we are talking about these situations that, like, other people are going through some difficult situation, and how should we react when they come to us? How do we react? And if I kind of recall that. Somebody said in in the discussion that because it is their sole plan, and we should not be helping them, because then we are obstructing their path, what they chose. uh, is this the right thing? Because I think, uh, as a spiritual person, the first and foremost thing I think, and I may be wrong and you can correct me, is like compassion for others, for any form of life, be it plants, be it kids, be it human form or any other. The first thing I understand is, if I see somebody in distress or somebody is coming, I should just not be, yes, I should be witnessing and observing, but as a human, my first thing should be, if there is a capacity and if there is a requirement, I should first go and help. I should not think that I'm obstructing their path. How do you respond, or what do you think about this? What are your
Okay, I
thoughts?
agree. I agree.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But what
Mhm.
is the caveat of my agreement?
Hmm.
Empowering you to do what is right is also helping you. Am I being discompassionate or am I being compassionate? Or am I a bottleneck to being, delivering the other person's takeaway? That is what he is here for. You are understanding what I am saying? So
Yes, sir. But how
our
do you
focus
discern?
should
Hmm.
be to empower them to handle this situation, not
Hmm.
handle this situation
For them.
for them. Correct. Right?
Hmm.
Now, that
So
may
compassion is
initially
not wrong.
be, I will take you the first 5 steps. Thereafter, you will have to go, is one approach.
Hmm.
But the objective of the entire exercise, that opportunity is empower them to do things by themselves.
Yes, of course.
Right? So, if I take meditation, right, what is Patriji saying? He says, this is the way to do it, educate them. Right? Thereafter, right, you have to ask them to strengthen it themselves through Swadhyaya, Sajjana Sangatya, and meditation here has taken the shape of sadhana, practice. It is
Hmm.
their practice that is important to them. It is their practice that is important to them. If they don't practice, now, their practice could be while they are walking, their practice could be
Yes.
while they are sleeping, right? Like we have this argument at home. They don't see me sitting with my hands crossed and the legs crossed and hands finger in finger in a particular pose. You are not meditating. This becomes a common question, right? This becomes a common question because their understanding of meditation is you have to sit in this posture, you have to do it like this. Whereas you have gone past that stage, and even when you are sitting idle, you are actually meditating. You may not physically be doing it, but the state of your mind has transcended that level. Then where are you? Are you meditating or are you not meditating?
You
Correct.
are.
Right. But then if they tell me, all I say is, you don't know, just leave it. Right? If you sit in meditation, you can understand what I meant. Right? So the objective behind any communication is to empower the other when you see a need. If you go beyond empowering, then you are interfering.
And so what do you say about the healers? I have also heard this concept, like watching like YouTube videos on PSSM and all the other stuff. Like some people I have heard saying that you should not heal anyone because you're obstructing their path. So I would say like then all the doctors are committing sins. Like it is their sole contract when they came to this planet. They decided that they want to help others. They want to heal others. So how are they? How do you see that? What's your
See,
perspective on that?
see, I mean, my answer stays the same as it was in the previous case. The doctor is supposed to help me or empower me, not make money out of me. Right? But then he also has to survive. So there is a little bit of exchange that can happen. It cannot become something that is inaffordable. He is unable to help me because of that. You don't have insurance, I can't do it. Is he married to money that is coming out of it, or is he married to the purpose that he has chosen?
But all of us are making money, sir, like in whatever
But
profession.
see, money has to be considered incidental, right? That is why this book, The Soul Contract Decoded, is so educative. It is mind-blowing.
I've not finished it. I started reading it, but I've not finished it
Yeah.
yet.
No, what you do is go slow. Before that, right? After the first chapter, I had posted 2 links to 2 large videos,
Okay.
wherein they are talking about the frequencies of 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and so on. Right? And a combination. And another set of 175 videos.
Oh, okay.
Now, that sounds very large, right? But if that 175 videos were put together, it would be a 4-hour video,
Okay.
right? Each of them is a concept. And these 175 take you through the process of implementation, not for a human being, but for a business. The theme is the same. If you go through them, the first time, just listen as though you are watching a movie. Right? Second time also continue. You will start understanding what is behind it. Right? That will give you answers to majority of your questions. Because what your life is distributed between 6 aspects. Or rather, just 3 aspects: karma, talent, goal. Right?
Goal.
Talent is in between, bridging karma, the lessons that you have chosen, goals, the learnings that you want as a takeaway. The talent or the ability for you to execute is the fulcrum on which it is resting. These are the three aspects. There are two windows where this is applicable. One is the physical life. So one triangle of the Star of David represents your physical life.
Hmm.
The other triangle is your spiritual life. Okay. The entire life is the journey between these two, which is known as purpose of life. Right? So you got the spiritual karma, you got the spiritual talent, and you got the spiritual goal. Between these six aspects is the permutation and combination of the destination that you have to arrive at.
Okay. Yeah.
If you get an inkling of what it is, the life becomes that very
Simple and
interesting for you. Because of your free will, you can even go and extend beyond what that is. If it is a challenge, your outlook changes to, is this really a challenge? Why I have so much knowledge? It becomes a challenge with which, right, instead of being controlled by fear, you are controlled by the inquisitiveness to excel. Right? So, this book actually will give you all the answers you are seeking to a large extent.
okay. Sure.
That
Thank you,
way,
sir.
the book is making it clearer and clearer, clearer and clearer. First of all, I have, for every quality I am talking of, there is duality. We all keep hearing, right? What if I say my talent, my resistance, and my goal, right? My talent in between.
Right.
That means the goal is tough. Okay. That means my talent has to rise above.
Right.
Okay. How does it rise above? I take the lesson I have learned, I start analyzing it, I start synthesizing it, I start experiencing it. Right? My experience is going to equip me. So my entire outlook of my life is changing thereby. There are only three components. I have karma, a lesson. So a question is asked, right? So is my skill enough? No. I need to acquire more skills to handle that situation for giving a response. Response is the goal. Right? Karma has come to me in the form of a pain. Am I equipped to handle it? Right? I may take the situation. My dad committed that he would never live with me. Okay. And that's how life has been with me. I was in the hostels in my younger days. I've never spent time with the family and so on. But towards his end, he had no choice. Circumstance forced him to be with me.
Hmm.
Are you seeing? Right?
Yeah.
All along, I lived with the belief that anyway he has committed, so he is a man of his word. He will never come to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I respected him for that because that's how I grew up. Right? But then towards his old age, both my parents had no option but to be with me. Right? Then as I started analyzing, this book talks about two things. He talks about law of attraction, but he also talks about the law of opposites before law of attraction happens.
But they say that opposites also attract each other, sir.
No, opposite also is attracted, but the manifestation process first starts with the opposite.
Mm.
Okay. That
This
opposite
is
is,
something
suppose
new.
he discusses a beautiful example, right? Which answers most of our questions. He says he wanted to buy a car. He had a budget constraint. He had a desire saying it has to be in pristine condition. So he goes to the net, he floats a requirement, and he receives a lot of responses. And there is one response that he likes. So he inspects and he finds that the car is actually a crashed car.
Oh.
It has already been crashed. And he gets very dejected. He has already scaled through about 10-15 offers, out of which the one that he was able to, he found his, none of the 9 meeting his requirement. The 10th one sounded as though it had everything, but in the last minute, he finds that it has been trashed by the owners. It has been well painted and projected, and right? So he gets dejected. He says, I don't think I'm going to get it. That is when he realizes that process of manifestation has first brought to him the law of opposite. It gave him everything that he desired, but in the opposite sense. Okay.
Mm.
He keeps at his effort, and the very next day, he gets one more vehicle, he goes to it, it meets every single desire that he has announced to the universe, and at the lowest cost, lower than what his budget was. Right? Now, this is how manifestation and law of attraction works. Now, he has set the result. We get bogged down by the result. But what is the actual takeaway? Is it getting the desire met, or is it the entire process that is conveying a lesson to you? What is the takeaway there? Right? The same is the experience we need to go through when we are talking about any of the topics. When a question is coming, the responses come to us in bits, the analyzed components. We have to synthesize them. Right? Good question. We started with a direct answer, saying that
Yeah.
empower the people, right? And how do we get wisdom from other places which actually empowers us? Our outlook.
Mm. So, sir, is it like just as you said that, you always get the law of opposites first, and then you get the law of attraction applied? Is this why,
Yes,
like in most of the situation, like you are starting a business or something, you always first see those failures. You do not get success overnight, and
exactly. It is testing you, it is
and
teaching you. The
yeah.
moment you change your outlook, everything becomes opportunities. Like if you go to a bank, you will see Mahatma Gandhi's statement recorded behind the manager's wall. It says, a customer is not an interruption to our work. He is the purpose of our work.
Right.
Right. Now, that sentence sounds so much, says so many things. Right? It even empowers the customer to say, did you read that?
Mhm.
Right? When he says, don't disturb me, did you read that? Right? It can start there. It can help him retain his job. It can help him lose his job. So, I mean, we need to be able to, probably that is what Mr. Eckhart Tolle says, the power of now. Right? You need to be there, not guided by your feelings, your expectations, that is the body mind, vis-a-vis the reality which you don't recognize. So that's it. Yeah. Next question.
Thank you, sir.
Eckhart Tolle. I was just thinking for some when you said the meditative, we don't have to just sit and close eyes and hold. Eckhart Tolle, he does meditation by staring at things. That's his way of meditation. So I
You
wanted
do
to,
it while cooking. You people do it while cooking. Did you realize?
yeah.
Whatever you enjoy and you are like in the
No, not
moment.
enjoy. The
One
thing is,
nudge.
whatever is holding all your thoughts,
Attention, yes,
that single thing is the
is meditation.
purpose of the meditation.
Yeah, I wanted to say that there. You said his name. Now I got chance to say. Good.
Actually, sir, this reminds me like multitasking and doing only one task at a time. So I don't know where I heard recently. Of course, when before meditation or before spiritual journey, I'm sure everybody, all of us would have done multitasking. Even now we
Yes.
do, I guess, sometimes.
Yes, yes, yes.
So we are all
No,
doing
but
this.
then see, you are doing time sharing, but your focus is not, while doing one thing, you are not focusing on the other.
Mm,
Are you with me?
yeah.
See, you are not focusing on, let us say, the item that is on the stove while you are cutting vegetables. Where are you focused? Those few minutes, you are focused on the knife and its movement on the vegetable. Right?
Mm, yeah.
You are getting me, right?
Yes, yes.
That is multitasking.
So that is okay.
Yeah. No,
Oh.
see, that is the essence of multitasking. But in our physical existence, we spend time on one. While spending time on one, we let the interruptions of the others come in the way.
Mm.
Right? All of us are multitasking at any given point in time, but the focus with which we were doing that's how our learning happens, right? You go to school, 45 minutes, the teacher talks, you exchange your ideas. Later on, after the class, during playtime, hey, I didn't follow that particular example the teacher said. Right? But then in 45 minutes slots, you are doing every different subject.
Yeah.
Correct. That is what is the way we need to handle multitasking.
Mm.
In other words, in every task that you undertake, you have to complete that portion of the task to some extent at least. That is the
Or
true multitasking. Doing so many things and completing none of them is not multitasking.
yeah, but for example, the way you said cooking and taking an example, right? So your body, if you take BMI, body, mind, and intellect, everything is focused on cutting your vegetables. At the same time,
Correct.
the
Correct.
only
Same
distraction, the only distraction can come if you're thinking about like what I kept it on the stove, or oh, I'm missing the session somewhere, or I have to turn on the Zoom, or I'm thinking about what is next for tomorrow. So I think the most distractions, probably body will be there doing things, but the mind will go away somewhere else thinking about another task. So this is where I feel like we're not able to do 100% all like
Okay.
mind, body, intellect, everything focused on one task. I
Okay.
do get this conflict many times, even though I
No,
want to
that
do.
is because you are not exploiting the power that you have. You have one part of the power which says, which falls under the category of voluntary.
Mm,
Your resources that you have to execute are falling under the category of voluntary, and the second one is involuntary,
mm, mm.
right? So,
Yeah.
what are those skills which are involuntary in you and will aid the project you have undertaken? Every habit is involuntary or voluntary?
Both,
Habit
I would.
becomes
Habit is always involuntary.
always
It is not voluntary
involuntary.
because the body is not aware. It is, you have
Aware that.
automized that,
Oh, okay, okay. That's what you meant.
right?
Okay.
Right.
Mm.
So whatever is the trigger when that has to get triggered and how you have trained it is your involuntary way.
Yeah, yeah.
So both these resources are going to help you do multitasking. What are the objectives of multitasking? Have you trained yourself in that manner? If you have, right, your multitasking efforts will be very, very focused. Are you with me?
Mm. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes.
Right? In some cases, we are aware that we have done that.
Mm.
In
Mhm.
some, we are not aware. Where we are not aware, we get into a problem.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, if before I used to do many multitasking, sir. Nowadays, I'm not able to do that. I can only focus on one thing. I don't know if it is
Correct.
good.
Till this has got fully, what can be automated, what can be delegated.
Mm.
See, the same concept when extended to the corporate world is delegation. You set the process in place and then delegate that.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Mm.
And if you are doing it in the office and you are not able to do it at home, you are not brought that strength and skill into your practice. You are not brought that talent, right, to reach your destination. And the lesson you have chosen, the karma.
Mm.
Right? So that is how this entire process is tied. Whether it is physical or spiritual, the process is not undergoing a change.
Yeah, yeah. I understood what you're saying, but I think it's also like your satisfaction or contentment, I feel.
Your
Okay, you
expectations. Then
one
there,
you
your
you're
expectation will rule the roost, whether you are satisfied or not.
okay. So
For
you
you, a
think
dosa will say light brown, crisp, round in shape. For me, a dosa will say doesn't matter the shape, doesn't matter the color, cooked with nice chutney next to it. Right? I mean, so there are different perceptions of the same thing. Correct, Surika?
so you think my expectations went down, I'm in more
So
vairagya.
your expectation of dosa is that. My expectation of dosa is doesn't matter. It is the chutney that is important.
Yeah.
Right. And you enjoy it your way, I enjoy it my way. So that is how the whole thing in the universe also works.
What I'm trying to say is, sir, the difference in before and after, is it maybe because we are also learning so much of spiritual stuff, the expectations went low and we are not expecting anything from all this. And that's why,
No, actually, you are mistaken. The more wisdom you have, more is the expectation.
oh, wow. I thought you'll be in Vairagya and you don't expect
No,
anything.
no, no. There is nothing like Vairagya. Right? What happens is your central foci, your
Hmm.
focus area is going to shift. Okay, there will be a time when you will say food has to be like this. right?
Mm.
Later on, food, doesn't matter here. As long as it is fulfilling the stomach and it is palatable, that is also food.
That is
During the younger days, it has to be this thick, it has to be this colored, this has to have all these elements in it, then it is food.
Right. Yeah. Maybe it's the
Right.
age.
There could be a stage when people like me, if you take, right, there was a stage when breakfast is equal to 25 puris,
wow.
right? Anything less than that is, I have not eaten anything, I'm still hungry. Right? Today, one puri is also difficult to go in.
Yeah, because the body is also changing. So our thinking pattern
There could be so many reasons.
are
First
also
of all, the body is not ruling you. You are ruling the body.
Mm.
Yes.
Well, sometimes you will say, I wish I have an ice cream now. But then you will say, the ice cream will shoot up the sugar levels. We don't know whether it is made in this manner or with something else. So let me avoid it. Maybe next time I will see. Do these things happen to us?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So that is how our expectations keep varying.
Mm.
But you are satisfied with ice cream and you are having the same level of satisfaction even without it.
Or we
So
are
will
not.
that be satisfaction or compromise? Like because we just can't have it.
Either way, right? So when we are in any situation, the same thing holds good for us.
Mm.
Because of our habit, because of our involuntary functioning of the body, we may shout. We may have an initial emotional outcome. Correct. Then that undergoes a change. Then what happens? Right.
Change in what? Change in what?
Change in your outlook, your approach, everything.
Mm. Yeah. So you're saying that the changes, whatever we are seeing.
No, here I am trying to emphasize, is it the body mind or your intellect mind which is controlling the situation?
Yeah, I think you're saying the body will just listen to what we are telling. So that is mind and intellect.
Correct.
Mm.
Or the body will say, I want it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, next. Good discussion.
Sir, one more thing. You said a point about your parents that they don't have a choice and they were
No, I
kind
didn't
of
say they don't have a choice.
forced to stay with.
Much against their choice, they had no other place.
So they accepted it. They have.
I mean, see, when I push you to the wall, where is the question of acceptance? There is only surrender.
Surrender. Okay. Sometimes people do stay or do things even though they don't like it. I'm just wondering if I mean, I don't know if it has an effect on any of their journey.
It will, no? It
But
will.
there are some karmic connections and karmic debts also, na? That like, between our or any relations or anything that we encounter on this planet Earth when we are born, there are some karmic debts and karmic connection. That's why we are born in a certain family
See,
or
no,
a
no, no,
certain
no.
set of
We are
parents.
going back to the old thing. What is karmic?
Karmic,
We just understood that, right? Karmic is based on the lessons that you want to learn.
learn, right,
Correct.
right.
So
And that's why we
either you
chose
have
that
the
set of
talents,
parents.
pardon?
Yeah. And that's why we chose like a certain set of parents,
Correct.
a
Those are
certain
the
family.
lessons. That is the
That's what we want
syllabus.
to experience. Yes,
Your
yes.
karmic influence is your syllabus.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
it will both sides, right, sir? In your case, for example, so it was a learning for your parents also. They have to learn some things from you, and you also have to learn some things from your parents. So it's a
No,
mutual
it could be, no, no, it
relation.
could also be, right? See, one part of it is learning. The second part of it is the service through which your learning happens, right? It could be any of these as the trigger.
Okay.
It could be any of these as the main trigger, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if we
This
take
is
our
where I think we need
Yeah.
to start thinking about all roads lead to Rome. We keep hearing, right? This is the spiritual meaning of that sentence.
all roads, I didn't get the last word.
Leads
All
to Rome.
roads lead to Rome, right?
Lead to Rome.
Or in chemistry, it is the Hess's law of heat summation. So in any type of a reaction, the amount of heat generated is the same.
Mm.
The way it is generated could vary. Right? Like that, everything, the objective is the purpose of life, and you need to go through the grind.
Mm.
So that is how we should look at karma. Karma is an opportunity for you to learn and enhance. Enhance the quality of the goal or enhance the talents that you have. The spiritual enunciation out of that is this. And that is what Seth is trying to communicate.
So,
Yeah.
one question. After Joan, is that still channeling to someone?
After
Like just out of
what?
like Joanne, like after Joan?
Jane,
Okay,
Jane.
Jane
Jane,
Roberts.
sorry, Jane Roberts. Is he still channeling? Like, is somebody claiming or somebody saying something?
What's the latest update or something? That's what I think she's asking.
In the book,
Yeah,
it's mentioned that has come through only Jane to maintain the
yeah,
authenticity of
right,
his
right, right.
channel.
But now Jane is not there, right?
No, yeah,
Right.
she's not there. But I
She is
think
not
what
there.
to
Correct.
convey it is done.
So the answer is no.
Okay.
Unless Jane has taken a new birth and that is made visible, it is information insufficient to draw that conclusion.
Hmm.
So sometimes what happens there is we extend our imagination to say yes or no. That becomes subjective.
Hmm. True.
But sir, I have one like there in his like first material. Seth says that he's part of Jane's higher personality. He says that Jane, him, and Jane's the present husband, they three are part of one personality. That's the reason he decided to communicate with them because they are two together. That's what
Yes, I
he's saying.
remember that.
So
Quite
this may
possible
be
because they have had relationship in their previous births.
Hmm.
That he says in the other book, Nature of Personal Reality.
Mhm. Oh, the is it the Seth Speak book or it's
No,
different?
no. It is, yeah, it's one of the Seth Speaks book. It is the nature of personal reality. The name of the book is Nature of Personal Reality.
Okay.
It is
Yeah,
also a
this.
600-page book or something like that.
Okay. There's so many things to know. Just getting the gist of it now.
No. We should not see this Q&A that you chose, that approach lays the foundation from multiple perspectives.
Yes.
Okay. It lays the foundation from multiple perspectives. And then that will hone the learn. Ultimately, when you finish reading all these books, the feeling you get is, I knew it all along.
Hmm.
Mm.
I knew it from my upbringing. I knew it from the Ramakrishna Mission School, their training that I had. I knew it from the Bishop Cotton School that I went to, and so on, right? All these, but all of them taught me the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So why are we doing this, sir, when we know already everything?
For you to realize that you know.
Yeah.
True. We know all this, but I think
We know the theory side of it. We need to experience the practical side.
right. And I think that comes only with this Sajjana Sangatya or group discussions.
No,
If
it could
not,
be Sajjana Sangatya, it could be the projects that we undertake where there is teamwork. Right? Those are all various flavors of Sajjana Sangatya itself.
yeah.
If we focus on the theme, we will find that kind of an answer.
Mhm.
If we focus on every single activity, then we don't get it because we are then going into the judgment mode. We should not be in the judgment mode if you want to learn.
That's what he says initially, to be open to everything. That's
Correct.
how you learn.
That's how we learn, that's how we progress.
Sir, my spiritual, just like a little bit off track question. Like my course with for the spiritual tablet thing is going to start like next month. Are you going to be the part of that curriculum or course or discussion something or no?
I have not decided because I have requested permission to move out of
Sir, move
spiritual
out
tab.
after 6 months. By that time, at least we will finish our curriculum.
I mean, I will always be available to answer questions, doubts, and all that.
Okay, that's
But I'm not really sure whether I will be involved as a direct participant in that initiative.
okay.
It's not that I don't want to, but I think the universe is pulling me to something different.
Bigger?
Yeah.
Different.
Because even my dream sequences are telling me that the contributions I can make here are almost complete.
Wow.
There are some other things that I have to start undertaking, like integrating music into the scheme of health management, right? How do you do a meditation of a different kind under the guise of that particular frequency of vibration? So, and there are so many thoughts. These are all I'm thinking aloud. At this point, the direct answer to your question is I'm not sure.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for
No,
all
no.
your wise wisdom
But
and
I'm always available for any type of a question, even if it involves spiritual tablets and the concepts.
Thank you, sir. I will definitely have some for you, for sure.
Then if the number of people becomes overwhelming, then we will take a call whether we should have one more parallel revision kind of a session. Anything else? Any other question on this topic? Suicide and death?
We discuss everything, sir, around it also. This is why, like, I love these discussions. They just start from like a particular thing, and they are so vast, and you
No,
are
all
so kind
topics
enough.
that we choose,
Yeah,
all topics on philosophy are like that. So, I mean,
yeah,
it is so huge, you have to bring the essence of that together for us to understand what it is, right? So, the basic theme is there is nothing like death, right? Death is an incident, right? Wherein you are transforming from one physical appearance to another
to
state, your state of existence from physical is becoming non-physical.
no.
But the journey goes on.
Mhm.
Right? He has spoken about it through various examples in that chapter itself. He says, like a mother to a child, right? The child needs to assume that the mother is in the neighboring room. What does that mean? It means physically it is not in front, but then you are beyond the physical. And now death and suicide. He says, death is that you have taken a conscious call when your project is to be aborted. You have taken that call. Suicide also means you have taken that call. So in that way, suicide is death and there is nothing wrong with it. So what are all the circumstances that can lead you through that? And what is it that is in between them is our purpose of life.
Yeah,
Right? And the purpose we segregated by virtue of thanks to the soul contract decoded. Every executable is a contract. With every person that we are involved in, any kind of a relationship is a contract. So you need to be aware that it is a contract. The contract is for you to learn, for you to spread, for you to teach. So are you aligned to that or are you misaligned? For you to be aligned, you have got three entities. You have got the lessons, you have got the skill set, you have got the goals. Right? These define the contours and the boundaries of your journey. The purpose is in between the three of them. That means those that link the lessons to the skills to the goals, right? Irrespective of the order in which they appear, feeds each other. And that has been the overall scope of the discussion today.
it was very, very enlightening and very encompassing and very wide. So we
No,
loved it,
correct.
sir.
No,
We loved
it's
it.
very, absorbing, the
Profound.
entire
Yes,
discussion has been able to hold our attention for the last hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, or maybe almost 2 hours.
yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always been same.
I
We'll
know.
go
Yeah.
till like hours. It's
So many
very,
Yeah.
yeah, so many topics they covered, but still they're like, oh,
And they
need to
are
know.
all interconnected. See, we come from there and then we consolidate them into the same theme. that we have chosen.
Yep.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sureka. Thank you,
Thank you,
Kirti.
sir. I
Thank
have to
you.
say
Thank you
to
so
you
much.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Yeah.
keeping
No,
our
Thank
it
you
has
so
been a
much, sir.
wonderful
Thank you very much.
discussion. Yeah.
Thank you
Okay.
all.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye.
Have a good weekend.